In this assignment, we will add on to the door we drafted in a previous assignment entitled Basic Bungalow-Style Door in the Arts and Crafts Style. This lesson focuses on adding a mitered door casing with a back band finish detail to add for more depth and dimensionality. We will finish up the elevation by adding the baseboard detail and mimic the same back band along the finished floor line to complement the door casing style. Let's get started. The AutoCAD commands we will review in this lesson include offset, fillet, trim, extend, hatch, and dimension. We will use the layer panel to manage line weights in the drawing. If you haven't created the basic door drawing yet, please watch this video. In the previous video, we drafted the two-dimensional view of a basic bungalow paneled door in elevation. We made a copy of the original door elevation to show the mounting height of the push-pull hardware. In this lesson, we pick up with the same AutoCAD file and make the def points layer the current layer. Draft a 5 feet length line from the bottom right-hand corner of the door. This will serve as a reference line. The reference line will help provide equal spacing between each door as we progress through the door development lessons. By drafting the reference line on the def points layer, the reference line will not become part of the final print when finished. Once you've drafted the reference line, switch the current layer back to layer 0 for now. Now temporarily turn off the A dimensions layer. On a Mac, the layer on-off is a little circle to the left of the layer name, and on a PC, the on-off function is represented by a light bulb symbol. Use the copy command to copy the second door to the end of the new reference line as you see me do here. To create the door casing, use the offset command and set the offset value to 5 inches. Offset the exterior lines of the door to the outside of the existing door lines. Use the fillet command to connect all of the door lines by setting the radius fillet equal to 0. Choose M for multiple as I will be using fillet on multiple corners. You can now see the outline of the door casing around the original door in elevation. On the layer panel, switch the layer to I-elevation-medium. Use the line command to draft an angled line from the corners of the door casing to the corners of the door as you see me do here. To prepare to add the back band detail, we will set the offset distance to 1 inch. Offset all of the lines that represent the door casing. This small edge finish detail provides a way to add dimension and protect the edges of the door casing. Connect the corners of the back band by using the fillet command again. Select the double lines that represent the edges of the back band. Because these lines are in such close proximity to each other, we will need to reduce the line weight assigned to them. To do this, change the layer property of the lines that are close together to the I-elevation-medium. These lines will look darker when plotted because of their perceived visual mass as a result of being close together. At each top corner of the back band detail, add an angled line to mimic the mitered casing detail. The way these corners are joined should match the casing joint. The point of the elevation drawing is to define these choices to the craftsperson. Because we offset the casing to the outside of the original door geometry, we will now need to move the door to the end of the reference line we drafted at the beginning of this lesson. This will help us maintain a consistent spacing between the doors. We now need to draft the finished floor line at the base of the door casing and the back band detail. Add this line to the I elevation-medium layer, which should be the current layer. Next, use the offset command to create a shoe molding detail where the floor meets the baseboard. Set the offset distance to 7/8 of an inch. Use the trim command to cut away the horizontal line that overlaps the vertical back band casing detail. We are now going to choose a baseboard height that matches the height of the bottom rail of the door. The bottom rail of the door is 12 inches in height. To create a continuous visual line, we will set the baseboard to be the same. Offset the line that represents the finished floor to a distance of 12 inches. Trim the horizontal lines that represent the top of the baseboard out of the vertical backboard line work. It is now time to add the wood hatch pattern to the door casing, back band, and baseboard areas. Again, you can fill the area between the line work with any standard hatch pattern and then use the Match Properties command to match the existing pattern on the door to the casing. I will now show you a graphic trick that my colleague David Morgan taught me. The trick is to reduce the scale of the hatch pattern just slightly in visually tight areas. This helps you better distinguish the small back band detail. I will demonstrate this one more time. It is actually a very important aspect of detailing that you wouldn't notice, but adds a lot to the overall quality of the drawing. It is now time to dimension the drawing. To do this, turn back on the A dimensions layer and make it the current layer. When dimensioning detail or shop drawings, you will be choosing whichever side of the elevation explains the detail best. So this is a different approach than stacking dimensions when dimensioning floor plans or elevations within a drawing using the aligned dimension style. You can always use a construction line to help align the dimensions visually. This creates visual harmony with the notes and dimensions when they appear to be justified along an imaginary margin. The last thing we will do in this video is add the leader line with callouts. I've adjusted the dimensions again so that they read more accurately to the way we would describe the parts of the door assembly and baseboard. For example, we would say that this is a 12-inch high baseboard with a 7/8 inch shoe molding, which is applied over the baseboard. So the dimensions should reflect this reality. You can see the blue construction line put in place aligns the dimensions and callout notes. The callout notes were created using the multi-leader command. This topic is covered in another video if you need more information than that which is covered here in this lesson. When using the multi-leader command, you will often need to switch back and forth between two different styles. A 1-point leader return style, or you might be using a 2-point leader return style. So in this example, the straight callouts use the 1-point leader style, whereas the 2-point leader style is used when you see the angled leader line callouts. Ideally, you want to maintain the same angle for the 2-point leader callouts. To do this effectively, just copy the primary callout and then edit the text. Otherwise, it is difficult to maintain the exact same leader line angle, and when the angles are not the same, the drawing looks messy and unprofessional. This is the case for the mitered casing callout. Notice the leader line angle is not the same as the others, so it looks a little off or unbalanced in the drawing. To rectify this, I will delete the callout, copy one of the other callouts from the list below, and then edit the text. Now the notes look reasonably in balance, and you can always make more adjustments, but for now we'll call it a day. The last callouts that I will add and adjust in this video tutorial are the callouts for the back band detail and the push-pull hardware. Check the U.S. National CAD Standards abbreviation list and use industry-accepted abbreviations wherever possible for notes and callouts. One final tip is use AutoCAD spell check command if you are unsure of the spelling of any specific industry terminology.